All right, real talk now. Rush Limbaugh loves to stir up trouble, and boy, did he ever find it with these comments.
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke, who goes before a congressional committee and essentially says that she must be paid to have sex? What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right? Makes her a prostitute. She wants to be paid to have sex.
All right, well, it took a while, but he did apologize. Still, that didn't stop the outrage from women, from the left, and even from some of his own political allies. And it certainly didn't prevent an even bigger problem for Limbaugh: advertisers bolting from his show. Reports put the number anywhere from a handful to nearly 100. He says he is not worried. But this week, the network, which syndicates Rush's show, told advertisers they are suspending national advertising for 2 weeks. So what does that mean? And what's the truth about one of, if not the leading voice of conservatism? Goldie Taylor from the GoldieTaylorProject.com is here. So Goldie, what is the truth? Is Rush's show in jeopardy?
He's in trouble. You know, Don, you know that I own an advertising agency here in Atlanta, and in that agency, we buy media on behalf of national and global brands. And for a brand as controversial, and let me get this straight, Rush Limbaugh isn't just a radio personality. He's a brand, he's a business. So for my brand to invest in his business under this kind of dark cloud just isn't going to happen. I would be, breaking my fiduciary duty. It would be, not strategic on my part to recommend doing this for my client. I understand that many of my colleagues in advertising just aren't doing it.
Well, and the reason I wanted to do this segment is not because I believe on one side or the other Rush should be taken off the air, or none of that.
Sure.
Because that's a whole freedom of speech.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about that. But I wanted to know what the truth is, because as we said, Rush is one of the leading voices in conservatism. And if one of the leading voices on the left was in jeopardy, again, as in Bill Maher, I want to know what's the truth. He says it's not. So he says he's not in trouble. He doesn't believe. So then what's the difference between just saying, hey, listen, I'm done, or suspending, or saying, oh, we're suspending advertising?
Well, the truth is he's lost 140 plus advertisers who are either suspending or completely terminating their relationship with him. Let's look at CNN. Could an organization as big as CNN afford to lose 140 advertisers? No. And certainly Rush Limbaugh can't afford it. And so when he says that he's not in trouble, he simply isn't telling the truth. He never apologized. He never gave the advertisers a road back.
So then why just not say, we're terminating, rather than saying suspending advertising?
Because public relations-wise, that allows me to do a couple of things. One, it allows me to keep my base of buyers.
Gotcha.
So if I've got conservatives who are buying my soap, I want them to continue buying my soap tomorrow. So I say suspend so that I can easily back away. But as in the case with Imus, if I get far enough away from it, if he does apologize, if his brand does improve, I reserve the right to go back and invest 2 or 3 years later.
Rush's power and influence?
Just like with Glenn Beck, his platform is likely to change. Glenn lost his show on Fox News. He's now got his own GBTV. I think we'll see something like that with Rush. Without those advertisers, you can't sustain a nationally syndicated deal.
Do you think so? He's gone to Twitter this week for the first time. Why is that?
That's the result of crisis managers getting involved. That's when public relations people come and say, you've got to get into your audience and get them to support you and show these advertisers what they're getting.
Is there, and I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is it more insidious when it comes from one person, when it comes from someone, and I don't mean just Maher exclusively, when you can say, oh, it's humor or it's what have you, because a lot of people can do that, comedians.
Well, I think, there is some comedic license, that we, can take out here in popular media. But I think there comes a point when it simply goes too far, when you malign and demean people of a different religion, different sexual orientation, different gender, different race. I mean, I think there's a point where the line just simply goes too far. I think with Rush Limbaugh, he's reached that line.